When you think of the world we live in, you would usually associate it with powerful countries like America, China, or Russia. However, if you zoom into Asia, more specifically Southeast Asia, there's another rising country whose name is often heard. Singapore may only be a tiny red dot on the world map, yet it's the home to millions, and it is my home. My name is Isabelle Metzger, and I am representing Crescent Girls' School for the PESA Inter-School Competition. I will be speaking on the topic of Singapore and I. Allow me to further introduce myself. I am an Eurasian. My father is a German, and my mother a Singaporean Chinese. I may hold two passports, but I've been born, bred, and raised in Singapore all my life. Naturally, I've adopted an affinity for my home country, and for a very good reason. I have always admired Singapore's constant evolution to keep up with the changing times. It is only a tiny red dot on the world map, yet we've never once been daunted by our size. We have a strong, unique, and multicultural identity, which makes us all the more different from other countries. Everything about Singapore, from the hawker centres selling local food, to iconic Changi Airport, to the shopping paradise in Orchard Road, is special to us. An example of this is when I return home from a trip overseas. The sight of our sturdy airport is reassuring, and it instills a sense of pride, belonging, and happiness within me. I personally feel that Singapore's history is one of the most important things that have shaped our identity. As many know, Singapore was originally a small fishing village with a strategic geographic location. Sir Raffles discovered it, and following his and his countrymen's improvements, we have gradually become a bustling trading hub and a home to people from all walks of life. In early 1942, Singapore was invaded by Japan, and this led to the Japanese occupation. It was a dark period for all. After the Japanese surrendered in 1945, we returned to British rule, and the electoral system was soon born in Singapore. Despite the many hurdles that Singapore had to continually overcross, we never gave up and managed to build a community and country we could call our own. The history of Singapore's fight to the top is really what makes what seems like a small, insignificant dot on the world map so much more significant to all of us. It is the resilience, the perseverance, and most of all the spirit of our ancestors which has brought us to where we are now. The Singapore we live in now is topping the rankings easily, evolving from a third world country to a first world country in a relatively short time frame. We have one of the least corrupt economies with the best investment potential, and have been called Asia's best place to work in. As a person who loves history, I certainly think that Singapore's relatively short yet turbulent one has struck a chord with me. I feel strongly about Singapore's constant growth and development, and I'm very proud of how far my country has come. Singapore's success story has also inspired me. There are over 7 billion people on Earth, and I'm only one of them. I've thought to myself many times, what can I possibly do? How can a small, insignificant being like me impact the world? It is from the history of Singapore in which I have learned that even the smallest of countries, with the humblest of beginnings, can grow into a recognized and respected one with hard work and the flexibility of adapting to changes. This is why Singapore's success story is so heartwarming and admirable. The past may be the past, but I am sure that I, along with the future generations, will do our best to uphold the legacy of Singapore and its forefathers. I may be one individual who loves my country, but I wish for all of us to work together and make the little red dot that's our home a little more significant than it already is. At the end of the day, the world is an oyster, and to me, Singapore is the pearl. Thank you.